From fiction to facts, there are a lot of historically inaccurate things in the 5th season of The Crown. The most surprising thing, however, is that one actress's bra was stuffed with birdseed. Yes, you heard that right. Wonder why the creators had to use birdseed? Can you guess the actress whose bra was filled with such a thing? With no further ado, here's everything you missed in The Crown.
Where he and the Duchess were frequently in the company of Nazis who hoped to install him as a possible...
We'll start off with Princess Diana's phone. Was it really bugged? Now that the new season is out, a lot of viewers wonder whether the show is historically accurate. In the 5th season, there's a scene during which Diana hears some weird clicking noises on the other end of her phone calls, which leads to her wondering whether someone spies on her. There are no proofs that this ever happened in real life, but most viewers don't know that Diana actually feared that she was spied on days before her death. In 2007, Diana's one-time private secretary, Michael Gibbons, told The Guardian that Diana clearly felt as if she was being recorded. Her actions were such, in terms of changing her telephone number, he said, that it was clear that that was a concern to her. Yes. Another big question we had is regarding the connection between the Windsors and the Romanovs.
What better way to break down a personality than by isolating it?
In the 6th episode of the series, we're introduced to Britain after World War I when King George V gets a letter from the British Prime Minister in which the Prime Minister says that the government was ready to send a ship to Russia to save their Russian relatives, the Romanovs, who had been defeated in the Russian Revolution. In another scene, Tsar Nicholas II is informed by a soldier that he and his wife are being moved. Nicholas shouts, "It's Cousin George!" The whole thing ends up awful with the entire family getting killed, which proves that the royal family didn't help. In a later scene, viewers discover that Elizabeth and Prince Philip are related to the Romanovs, which makes Philip do some research. But how exactly are the families related? Maria Fyodorovna, the sister of Queen Elizabeth's great-grandmother, Queen Alexandra, married Tsar Alexander of Russia. Maria's eldest son Nicholas was the last ruler of Russia and the first cousin of King George V, Elizabeth's grandfather. The Crown reveals that George refused to help save Nicholas, which is a bit weird considering the close bond they had.
Bring the Romanovs to safety here in England. The Prime Minister does not wish to do so.
Another question viewers have in mind is whether Diana gave Queen Elizabeth's warning after her Panorama interview. Well, this for sure didn't happen. For those wondering why the creators include so many events that never happen in real life, it's because the show is a docudrama, meaning that the creators have the freedom to include events that never happened. Season 5 focuses a lot on Princess Diana's 1995 interview with Martin Bashir on the BBC documentary series Panorama, in which the princess discussed everything from her marriage with then Prince Charles to her struggle with bulimia. This series also includes a storyline in which Diana gives Queen Elizabeth a notice about the interview, but in reality, that never happened. It's hard to beat the scenes depicting Diana allegedly summoning up her courage and dropping on the Queen the bombshell news that she had secretly recorded an interview with Martin Bashir for Panorama. Diana's former private secretary, Patrick Jeffson, told The Telegraph this part of the story was made up and therefore might reasonably earn the eerie of the Crown's scholarly exact detractors. "I know it was made up because I was there," he added.
And I'm not sure how he would cope with that.
What the hell is she doing?
Now, did you guys know that more than 400 costumes were made for only one season? According to Netflix, it's time for you to smash that like button if you haven't done it already. Now, seriously, have you noticed how many costumes are used in the series? Apparently, more than 400 pieces are used for each season. Season 4 used 400. Now, a lot of fans don't realize that there was one character in particular that caused the design department anxiety because of how difficult it was for the team to dress them up. The most difficult costume to reimagine wasn't the one of Diana or the Queen. According to Emmy winner Amy Roberts, the most problematic person to dress up was Michael Fagan, who played the palace intruder in episode 5. "I so wanted to get the character of him right," Roberts told Glamour. The incredibly talented costume designer said that she felt anxious when dressing the character because, as she said, she didn't want to fail what he was about and what a broken Britain was about. The most complicated costume, however, belongs to the Queen's trooping, the color uniform, because a lot of detail went into it. As for Diana's wedding dress, to be honest, it wasn't that difficult. It was just the expectation of it. But what's up with Prince Philip and carriage driving? Why is he so obsessed with it?
Fairy tales are made. The Prince and Princess.
In the fifth installment, the late Prince Philip gives up his polo only to get obsessed with another hobby, carriage driving. Interestingly enough, Prince Philip found this hobby totally by accident. I was looking around to see what next. I didn't know what there was available. Philip told ITV in 2017, and I suddenly thought, well, we've got horses and carriages, so why don't I have a go? Carriage riding became a traditional hobby in the family. Philip's granddaughter, 18-year-old Lady Louise Windsor, is now a carriage driver. Now let's get into more details regarding Emma Corrin's improvised singing of God Save the Queen. Yes, you heard that right. Corrin's singing in this scene was improvised. Following Prince Charles' proposal, Diana decides to celebrate at Annabelle's in Mayfair. In an interview with Glamour, Corrin said that this scene was the funniest thing in the world. Apparently, the girls that joined her in the scene were fantastic, phenomenal actors, and they got to dance to Stevie Nicks for an afternoon in ridiculous ball gowns. And when they left the club, director Karen said to act drunk. The actress wasn't sure about this because, as she said, she's terrified of acting drunk because she thinks it can go wrong so easily. So I thought maybe I should sing the national anthem. I started singing it drunkenly on a whim, and he really loved it. So we kept that in. Now let's go back to that actress whose brow was stuffed with birdseed. Who was it? The best thing about Marion Bailey, who plays the Queen Mum, was squeezing her breasts because they were made out of birdseed. Helena Bonham Carter revealed at the show's virtual premiere. According to Bailey, no one really knows why the costume designers decided to fill her brow with birdseed, but one thing she knows for sure is that she really stayed far from birds during filming. Here's another Easter egg you most definitely missed. Princess Diana wasn't in the third installment of the series, but there's a major Easter egg that leads to her, and most viewers missed it. In one scene, Anne and Charles are casually talking to each other when Anne says that if he gets involved with Camilla, there will always be 3 people in the relationship. When you hear this, you immediately think that she's implying to Andrew Parker Bowles, Camilla's boyfriend, who she eventually married. But we all know that the extra person ended up being Camilla herself in Prince Charles and Diana's marriage. According to Netflix, you need to smash that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. No, seriously, Princess Diana said a similar phrase in real life. When she and Charles were separating, she said that there were 3 people in her marriage and she felt as if it was crowded. See you in the next video.